Welcome back. This is Coaching in Session. My name is Michael Reardon, and I'll be your coach this evening. So we're going to be talking about why diets are failing. Why are you failing your diet? Maybe you have been on a certain type of diet, a fad diet, and to no avail, you do not lose any weight, and or you do not keep the weight off. And it's important to understand why something is not working, because if you want to have change in your life, you need to know why it's not working, right? What change needs to be implemented to fix the situation. And if you are new to the series, welcome. And we're going to be talking about what we talked about last week a little bit, and that was fad diets. Well, we have a fad diet and we say, okay, I'm going to go on keto, I'm going to go on paleo, I'm going on Whole30. And all these diets are surefire ways to lose weight very quickly, but they don't necessarily keep the weight off. And yes, you might look good for a month or two, and then your habits sneak in and say, hey, what's going on? And then now you're back to normal. You're back to your regular weight, your regular eating habits, your regular regimen. And was time wasted? Maybe not, right? Maybe you had a specific goal in losing weight very quickly. But for most people, it's going to be wasted time, because it's going to just be a passing glance of what they wanted for a short period of time. And what we're going to be talking about today is a workshop, of course, Workshop Wednesday, but we're going to be talking about how I stay in shape and I can eat whatever I want. Now, just because I can eat whatever I want doesn't mean I go out and have pizza every night. It doesn't mean I go out and get ice cream or buy donuts and cake. As much as I would like to experience that on a more frequent basis, I understand the health detriments it causes, whether it be diabetes, obesity, fat gain. And for me, I have a very slender type of body. So I'm an ectomorph. And I believe that was the beginning of this month of October. We had a workshop about body types. So if you haven't watched that one, definitely a must watch. So understanding your body type, understanding what type of diet you need, what type of foods you need, is going to be important for you to lose the weight. Now, you might get a trainer and you might say, all right, I'm going to get in shape. I'm going to hire a trainer. I'm going to get a coach. And they start working with you and they put you on the treadmill, the Stairmaster, the bike, the elliptical, and you're sweating your behind off. And it's hard work. It is. And you might not see much progress in the first week. But what you can tell in the first week is that you're tired, that your whole body is hurting, it's sore, and you want to give up. But it's that wall you have to get through, that hurdle, those challenges that hurt, that soreness, in order for you to get to the next step. And it can take several months, right? Typically, people don't see results until the 3 to 6 month mark for their body type. And though it may be simple to lose 10 pounds every month, 20 pounds every month if you're on the right diet, is that the lifestyle you want to live? And most people are going to say, no, I don't want to have chicken breast and salad every single night. Now, do some people do have chicken breast and salad every night? Yes. We have some diehard people who are going to go out and want to be in the best shape ever. Maybe they're movie stars, maybe they're trying out for a fitness show, etc. And they need to be in shape. But it doesn't stop them necessarily from enjoying their life. If someone offers them a slice of pizza, they're gonna probably take that slice of pizza. But then they understand that slice of pizza has a certain amount of calories, a certain amount of fat. certain amount of protein. And they understand the macro part of what they're eating. And that's where people fail. People think they can outwork a diet. They think they can eat whatever they want: pizza, bread, sandwiches, pasta, Doritos, Cheetos, whatever, junk food. And they're going to be okay if they go to the gym, right? I went to the gym. I went on the Stairmaster. I walked for an hour on the treadmill. I burned 500 calories. I don't understand why I'm gaining weight. Well, the reason why you're gaining weight is because you cannot outwork a diet. And I'm going to say that again because people are stubborn. You cannot outwork your diet. So if you are eating poorly, your body's going to reflect that. No amount of gym, no amount of cardio per day is going to be able to help. Now, if you're using those calories for a specific reason, for example, if you are an Olympic swimmer, right, you might be burning 3,800 calories a day. So you need to have foods that are high in calorie, right? But then you also need to make sure your macros are correct. Because if you're eating too many carbs and not enough protein, now your muscle doesn't have enough fuel to repair. And that's going to cause you to feel weak, feel down. But people are so quick to eat foods they like or enjoy or that taste well or taste good. And they don't have the energy. They don't have the nutrients because they don't pay attention to what they're putting in their body. And it's easy to get off track and go to a fast food place every now and again. And before you know it, it's a habit. So you go to McDonald's on Friday, and then Saturday you go to Taco Bell, and then Tuesday or on any other day, you just keep making a habit of going out and getting poor quality food. And it's not so much you need to cook every single day for yourself because maybe you don't like cooking, right? Maybe you don't want to eat a salad or a chicken breast every day. That's fine. You can incorporate foods that you like. You can incorporate pastas, rice, breads, fruits, salads, whatever, right? But there's a caveat that has to be looked at. And we're going to be covering that today. We're going to be covering that about what we need to do to eat the foods we want to have. And for me, I can eat necessarily whatever I want. I can have cakes, sugars, sweets, whatever. And I might gain a few pounds, but in 1 week, I'm back to normal because I understand after eating those calories, something needs to change. So let's get into the workshop and talk about why our diets are failing and how we can move ourselves to the foods that we love. So I was coming up with an idea, and the idea came to me from a Kanye West song back in his early albums. I believe it was College Dropout, where he basically said, that's right, put in work, move your ass, go berserk, eat your salad, no dessert. And then you can get that person you deserve. So if we can move ourselves to dessert, move our ass toward dessert, would you be more inclined to get in shape? Because they say the dessert is what makes the meal. Maybe you're not a sweets person. I understand. Take your steak. Enjoy your pasta. Skip the dessert. But the dessert is a topping. Cherry on top. And that's what we're looking for. To get what we're looking for ourselves at the end of the day. And that's going to be happiness. Whether it be with food, with body type, or with lifestyle. So the process is pretty simple, right? We talked about fad diets last week, and we understand that even though the fad diets are effective in losing weight, they're not effective in keeping off the weight. So we need to figure something else out. And if you know your body type, that does help, right? If you're ectomorph, if you're, I think a mesomorph, something like that. 3 body types. Figure out your body type. Check out the video of when I did the body types and understand that your body type will play a role in what foods you should be eating. The second role, or the second factor, is going to be your age. So let's get into it. So here we have our typical food pyramid, right? You might have saw this in elementary school, and you saw all the foods you should be eating, right? You have your grains on the bottom, your pastas, your rices, your crackers, your breads, and then you have your beans, of course. Those are high in carbs. Beans are going to be more higher in protein. Then we go up a level and we have our vegetables, and they say always have your vegetables every single day. And then now we have fruits, which fruits can be tricky because fruits have sugar, but it's natural. And I did air quotes. The video is not on. Natural sugar. So people think, oh, if I just have bananas all day or grapes all day or apples all day, I'm going to be healthy. Well, to a certain extent. Are you burning off that sugar? And a lot of people do not burn off that sugar. Then we go to nuts, which is going to be carbs and proteins and fat. Then we go to vegetable oils. This is going to be fat. Dairy, eggs, proteins, and fat. And then sweets, carbs, fats, right? Not as much protein. So here we have a nutritional tab. You might see these when you go to the grocery store. Maybe you don't. Maybe you just grab exactly what catches your eye, and all of a sudden it's in your cart and you don't even know what you're about to put in your body. How many people do that? A lot. More people than I'm willing to admit. More people than I can probably know. Because the people who are shopping typically get a routine grocery list. Or if something's on sale, they'll try something out. So if DiGiorno's is on sale, DiGiorno's is on sale, let me get it. And they get this pizza, and it's almost 2,000 milligrams of sodium. It might be 48 grams of sugar or 48 grams of carbohydrates, 3 or 4 grams of sugar, and maybe only 5 grams of protein. But that is per slice. That is not even for the whole pizza. And people, for some reason, I'm not sure if they weren't paying attention in class or if their classes are not happening anymore, or people are just don't have that knowledge how to read nutritional data, nutritional facts. And so they see this nutritional label and they say, okay, well, the fats are not that much. The calories are only 230. I can deal with that. I'm supposed to have only 1,500. This only has 230. So I must be doing something right. This seems like a good deal. Wrong. So the body needs a certain amount of fats, carbs, proteins, and sodium every single day. Now, this is the average based on a 2,000 calorie diet. You should be having around 2,300 milligrams of sodium, 45 to 77 grams of fat. Your daily carb intake should be around 225 to 325 grams. And your daily protein intake should be 50 to 175 grams. So let's talk about that. If we know all of these facts, 45 grams of fat, 225 grams of carbs, maybe you are into fitness and you need more protein, so you're operating on the 120-ish grams of protein a day. So that is your goal. Not to go over 45 grams of fat, not to have too many carbs, and to get as much protein as you can get into your body, all while keeping the sodium level down. Because we need sodium for our body, but sodium retains water, right? So then we're going to have water weight, and sodium also dehydrates us. It makes us thirsty because it's absorbing our water. Now, how many of you know your macros off the top of your head? How many of you know how many calories you need to be having? Okay. How many of you know how much sodium is in the food you eat on a consistent and frequent basis? And sadly, that's where people fail. They don't even know what their macros are or what they're putting into the body. So if that's the case, how do we fix it? So here's that same nutritional tab we had earlier. We were talking about the calories. We were talking about the fat, the carbohydrates, the proteins. And then we also have something up here between the nutrition facts and this dark line, kind of hidden almost. The serving size. So 2.5 cups, 55 grams. But servings per container is 8. So if we take 8 and we times it by all of these numbers, right? All the numbers that are here, we get 1,840 calories. We get 1,280 milligrams of sodium, 296 grams of carbs, 64 grams of fats, and 24 grams of protein. And if you have a good memory, then you would know we are operating on a 2,000 per day calorie diet. And here we almost have 2,000 calories. So yes, we can be below our calorie intake. Our sodium is right around where it should be. I typically, personally, do not like to go over 1,500 milligrams of sodium a day. That's just me. If I need salt, I will get salt. Very simple to get salt. Carbs, holy moly. This is operating on the realm of the top point at 375. But here we have almost 300 grams of carbs. How many grams of carbs are you going to burn a day? Especially if you have a job that doesn't require you to frequently move, aka a desk job, aka work at home. If you have a job that is going to be sedentary, you don't need that many carbs. But this might be a bag of chips for all we know. And when you're sitting and you're doing nothing and you're bored, your brain is saying, well, I'm bored. I need something to do. Guess what it's going to do? It's going to grab that bag of potato chips and it's going to consume the whole thing. All the salts, all the carbs, and all the fats. And for the fats on this nutritional tab, of course, 64, which is in the realm of safe. But do you need 64 grams of carbs? Most likely not. And then protein, way, way low. Because the daily recommended protein is 50. And you're not even getting half of that. So if that's the case, and we know this nutritional tab is saying, hey, this food is actually not really that great for you. You're going to get too many carbs, you're going to get too many fats, and you're not going to get enough protein. And you might be on a certain diet like keto, where you can't have all those carbs. Typically, you want to stay below 10 to 15 grams of carbs to be in ketosis. And you want to be higher in fat. And even this wouldn't work if we switched or flipped carbs and fats, because you would still be over the recommended carbs for keto. So how can we begin the process to look at food in the sense of, oh, this is good, this is a treat, and I'm going to enjoy it, but I'm also not going to allow it to depict and determine my life. Because I eat whatever I want, but I'm also disciplined to the point where I choose foods that are going to be beneficial to me. So yes, I have ice cream, I have yogurt, I have cakes and brownies sometime. I like sweets, but I also like being in shape. And I also like being able to operate efficiently at 100%. So that leads us to, if it fits your macros. That's what I follow. I don't follow a fad diet. I don't follow a meal plan saying, oh, I need to be on this type of carb and I need to eat this much fruit and et cetera, et cetera. Yes, I do weigh up my food. Yes, I do monitor or limit portion sizes, but I do not suffer in the sense of I'm feeling hungry. I do not suffer when I want a certain type of food, I go and get it. And it might not be that day because that day might not work for my diet, but the day after, Friday, right? Like if I have a cheat meal coming up, I'll say, ooh, on Saturday or on Friday, I'm going to have tacos. I'm going to have pizza. I'm going to have some wine, whatever it be, right? That's going to be my moment of weakness, my moment to satiate what my body's craving, my mind wants. And then I basically tell myself, all right, you got what you want. Now stop begging for more. And it might be difficult for people because if it fits your macros, then it can fit the plan that you have and it can get you to where you need to be. And that's important. So, tools I recommend to people who are starting off. They want to first learn how to calculate macros. Well, how do you even figure out a macro for an egg or for a slice of pizza or for an apple, right? You won't find much nutritional facts similar to what I showed you that would be in the box of a cereal or on a bag of oatmeal. But there's this little hefty or little fancy tool called MyFitnessPal. It's an app. It's not my app, but I do recommend it. And you can go into MyFitnessPal for free and you can put in any food you want or you are going to eat. And it tells you how many macros that food will have. Carbs, fats, proteins. And that's important because once you figure out your macros, then you figure out your body. And we all have a different body. Depending on your age, depending on your body type, activity level, it all plays a role. So that is the first step. Figure out your macros. Well, now that we know what macros are coming into our body, what or how many macros of each particular type do we need? How many carbs we need? How many proteins we need? How many grams of fats we need? And for that, I recommend going to a few different calculators, right? So BMI calculators. I understand people don't like BMI because it puts you in a hole or it puts you just in a small group of people who may or may not reflect your culture, your race, your body type. So if you're 5'2" female and they say you should only be having 1,100 calories a day in order to lose weight, well, let's talk about it, right? Because, yeah, you might have that to be the recommended amount of macros you should be having, calories you should be having. But does it fit your lifestyle? Are you a nurse? Are you a landscaper, right? Are you going out playing sports? Are you working out? Because that plays a role in your maintenance calories. So MyFitnessPal and BMI put together can help you figure out your maintenance calories. And the way you figure out you have found a sweet spot is by going on the scale. And if you go on the scale and you after a week of you eating a certain type of food, and you realize, oh, wow, look, I lost weight. That means you're not eating enough food. But maybe your goal is to lose weight, then great. You are now in a calorie deficit. And a calorie deficit means you're going to lose weight. If you are in a calorie surplus and you go on the scale, oh, wow, this is not good. I gained some weight. So that means you're in a surplus. And the surplus may or may not be good. Maybe you're bulking up for the winter or bulking up for a competition or putting on some muscle. So it might be a good thing. But if you go on the scale and nothing happens, you found a sweet spot. You know exactly what type of foods, how much food you need to eat in order to maintain your body weight, your body type. And you might do that for 5-10 years and nothing happens and you stay the same weight. And then all of a sudden you hit a certain age and boom, now you're gaining weight again. Or boom, you start losing weight. Understand your body. Understand age is a factor. And another helpful tool to get in better shape is to implement fasting. And I understand fasting is not for everyone. Some people need to have breakfast. Some people need to eat every few hours. And fasting might not work for you. For me, I like to implement fasting because it is simple. And it doesn't require me to constantly be sitting down and eating. Because we're not going to talk about how much time I save by eating 1 or 2 times a day rather than 3 or 4. But we're going to talk about what it does to the body. When you eat, you use a huge amount of energy. Why do you think it is on Thanksgiving, you're tired after the meal? And you might say that the turkey has some chemical in it that makes you sleepy. Okay. That's false. It does have it, but chicken has it too. So why don't you feel tired when you eat some chicken? And you might, right? You might be a person who eats some chicken and wants to go to sleep. That's fine. But the reason why you're tired after Thanksgiving and you need to take a nap is because your body just got a bunch of food it needs to digest. So now it's trying to convert all this food into energy. And the way it does that is basically by saying, hey, buddy, go to sleep so I can work on this. But when you go to sleep, the body has 2 options. The body can say, we're going to use this food as energy, as nutrients. We're going to put it where it needs to go. And if there's any excess, we're going to store it as fat. And that's where the problem comes. So if you're the type of person who is on several different diet plans, you have tried and tried and tried and nothing has happened, it's time to get some help. Head over to revenconcepts.com and sign up for one of the classes. If you are still wary, do an intro call with me and we can figure out what we can do. If you have any questions, comments, concerns, of course, always email me, michael@revenconcepts.com. Or if you are part of the podcast community, you can email me at coachingasession@gmail.com. So that was a lot of information, right? That was a lot of information for us to digest about, no pun intended, about what food or what foods we need to be able to eat or should be eating. Because at the end of the day, you should get any type of food you want. But if that food causes you future turmoil, heart disease, diabetes, maybe some form of cancer, it's going to benefit you to curb that type of eating, to curb those habits of eating junk foods and all the sugary sweets that you don't necessarily need. And what I tell people is, if you want to have those foods, implement them into if it fits your macros. So if you want to have a piece of cheesecake, you don't need to eat the whole cheesecake. Take a bite. Enjoy it. Savor that bite. It's just like the last sip of a soda or something, you just have a little sip of it. Then again, you might be triggered to have more, right? How's your self-control? Are you able to control yourself? Are you able to say, hey, I had some cake and I don't want to have any more? Because if you're going to not be able to control yourself and you just go out and you go to the grocery store, never go to the grocery store hungry, and you go to the grocery store and all of a sudden, guess what happens? Now you got a bag of Doritos in there. You got a thing of Ben and Jerry's. You got some Funyuns. You got all this junk food. And that is another thing. Maybe I'll talk about it Friday. Is how do you shop at the grocery store? Have you ever shopped before? Has anyone ever taught you how to shop before? Maybe not, right? For me, growing up, my mom would go to the grocery store. She would buy groceries, and we would go to we would come home after grocery shopping. She spends a couple $100, and we'll have food for like 2 or 3 days. That doesn't make any sense. How in the world do you not have food for the whole entire week? It was because she would get the junk food, the cakes, the ice creams, the Doritos, and all the foods that we loved, right? And we ate them, but they weren't beneficial to us necessarily, and they weren't filling. So yeah, the bill went up, but our stomachs didn't stay full. It's important, especially when prices are going up for everything. There's limited supply. And this is the whole pandemic issue and the whole cargo ships and whatever, right? But we have to operate with the resources we are given. So if we are given just fruits and vegetables, let's make the best of it. If we're giving rice and pastas, let's make the best of it, right? Let's figure out how we can use that, what energy level we need, and find the magic number. Because there's no reason why you should be failing your diet. There's no reason why you should be going out every single day and getting fast food or getting foods that do not benefit you, right? Because I understand you can go to Chipotle and get a good healthy meal. You can go to McDonald's and get a McChicken salad, whatever. Now, is it the best? Maybe not. But there's options. You have an option. You have a choice. And that is immediate gratification or delayed gratification. Delayed gratification is going to allow you to eat at a greater level than if you were trying to cut back, right? Because if you're waning, you're not really getting much from that wane. So all in all, when you're on your diet, when you're thinking about getting on a diet, make sure you have a plan. Make sure you know your macros. Make sure you have tools and you know how to use those tools. Make sure you know how to read nutritional data. Make sure you know how to go grocery shopping. Because all of those are going to be factors in how you lose the weight. And I understand you see something nice at the grocery store. I understand it. I understand soda tastes good. I understand you need a sweet tea after dinner. I understand you need to have pizza Fridays with the family. I understand. And you can have that lifestyle, but adjust for that lifestyle. That's why fitness, being active, and or just monitoring what foods you ingest is going to be the key factor in your success for losing weight or getting in shape. Not too difficult. And if it is difficult, head over to revenconcepts.com and read some of the blog articles, read some of the content I have there to help you become knowledgeable so you can make better choices. I will see everyone on Friday for another episode of Coaching in Session. It's still the month of October, so we're going to continue with our health and fitness for this month. So next week will be our last week on health and fitness. And then we're going to get back into mindset. We're going to get back into what needs to be done, especially with all the mumbo jumbos going on in the world and our politics. Let's figure out what the next steps are. So until then, everyone, take care.